Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to the Punch.
Rising insecurity. Let me say that thing first now.
That
they are going to give you a dress. Please, me too, I need a dress.
All of us, we need dresses. We just sent to us for EFCC.
Rising insecurity. Federal government orders new strategy amid fresh attacks in Borno and Benue. Picture here of the Pope cardinals actually resuming voting today in the conclave. VDM released after 5 days in EFCC custody. Local government poll. Lagos APC pushes for consensus candidates in 57 councils. Power Minister opposes construction of 4,800 megawatts nuclear plants. U.S. helicopter firmed indicted in Wigwe's death. Benue governor alleges removal plots as Speaker's Conference tackles National Assembly. LP crisis Aburi probe begins. Kinjibe others suspended. Okay, which story?
The major headline. So the federal government has called for an overhaul of military tactics to address Nigeria's worsening insecurity. It said the country needed this more than the security summit that they were about to have. So the Senate on Tuesday had resolved to hold a 2-day national security summit to brainstorm a solution to the rising wave of killings and other forms of insecurity in the country. The decision was followed by a motion that was sponsored by Jimo Ibrahim, senator representing Ondo South, at the resumption of the plenary. So speaking during the ministerial briefing in Abuja yesterday, the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, had questioned the relevance of the Senate proposed National Security Summit, arguing that what they needed was a renewed strategy instead of having a summit. He said on the summit, yes, strategy is far more important than summit, but summit will also give you some inputs for the strategy. When you hold a summit, you have people, they talk, they take what they have learned, what they are expected, then they go back and they redesign and renew the strategy. So the Chief of Defense Staff was also giving operational orders based on the strategy that they would have developed, after the sessions. So they are saying that the summit can help, but though the strategy is more important, it's also important that they have the summit, first of all. Then they went ahead to talk about the fact that, because I know that I had taken it, I think it was yesterday, that they said that the bandits have more sophisticated ammunition compared to our Nigerian army. And they are saying that that's not true, that we actually have more sophisticated weapons. We have more machinery than what they could ever have. The only problem is that they have found a way to infiltrate the people on ground. They have a lot of informants. Yeah. So before the army, our defense team is going there, they're already waiting for them. They are mostly ambushed because they are liaising with the people that the army is trying to protect. But if we find a way to resolve that, then we'll see that they really do not have more ammunition than we do. Yeah. And I'm asking who will now resolve that? If they are able to get information through the army, that means that many of our security agencies are compromised. So the army has a lot of work to do to fish out those people who are giving information to the bandits and the terrorists, so that they can solve this issue once and for all.
Intelligence has to work.
Any other story?
Yeah, so I took a story that interests us. That's they said the 7 manufacturers lost 1.9 billion to Forex. They said manufacturers in Nigeria have reported a loss of 1.91 billion due to foreign exchange volatility in the first quarter of 2025. Some of these companies are Nascon, BUA, Nigerian Breweries, Dangote Cement, Vitafoam, Beta Glass, and Becca Paints. They said for Nascon that they lost a total of 55.38 million. And for Nigerian Breweries, they lost about 178.01 million. And then for Dangote, that one lost 11.84 million. And that these 6 companies listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited recorded a combined foreign exchange loss of 255.72 billion in their financial result for the year ended 2024. You can imagine what House of BC lost how much. And then
I buy the devil. I buy you and the devil together.
Are you comparing yourself with these big companies? You can see these big companies, they've lost so much money.
I don't even want to lose 1 naira.
So the manufacturers need to do something about the foreign exchange. They need to do something about it. So manufacturing companies can
try. So the U.S. helicopter firm has been indicted. So the United States of America's National Transportation Safety Board has linked the unfortunate helicopter that killed the group chief executive officer of Access Holdings PLC, Herbert Wigwe, alongside his family, to pilot special disorientation. And the NTS report further indicted the helicopter company, accusing it for inadequate oversight of its safety management processes. So these are things that are worth suing. According to the report, the investigators determined that the probable cause of the accident was that the pilot's decision to continue the visual flight rules into instrument meteorological conditions, which resulted in the pilot's spatial disorientation and loss of control. So it was his own decision to go ahead to continue that flight, even with he wasn't able to see properly. And the crash, which occurred in California-Nevada border on February 9, 2024, claimed the lives of all 6 on board, including Wigwe and his wife and child. And so I don't know what's going to be the next step of the family from this, now that you can see that the company of the aircraft can actually be indicted.
Yeah.
You have a story in Punch?
Yeah, the popular social critic activist VeryDarkMan Martin Ose, also known as VeryDarkMan, has been released from custody by the EFCC. We got to know through a statement from his lawyer, Deji Yonju, who said, who just gave one-liner saying he had been released. The EFCC too made a statement by its head of publicity saying that they had been trying, they had sent him letters and asked him to come for questioning. Their claim is that the arrest is because of petitions against alleging serious financial crimes, and they had been sending him communication and he never fulfilled it. So they got administrative remand and got him arrested. And they arrested him, I think, in front of GTB, which led to the protests from many people in front of GTB. They said that they have the lawful right to hold him in custody, and they have given him, and he's met the bail conditions. But my own is, I thought, I'm not a lawyer. It is the court that will give you bail conditions.
Yes, it is.
So how did EFCC?
No, I think EFCC can also give, because they are the ones that, like the way police will give you bail conditions now, they don't have to go to court to do that. I think they have the power to do that.
Evidence.
I think they even got to court order.
Yeah, it's also possible.
So let's move on now to Daily Sun. VAT states to earn more as Senate passes 2 tax refund bills, approves new sharing formula for VAT and retains the 7.5%. Doctors raise the alarm over state of public hospitals. Who has that story?
Yes, I have the story. Should I go ahead and take it? So the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, has decried the non-implementation of 50% electricity subsidy by the federal government. The doctor said the situation has placed a heavy challenge on the operational cost of hospitals, as they are now increasingly burdened with indigent patients. So they observed that the Federal Executive Council, that's FEC, had approved for a 50% subsidy for public hospitals, and since then it has not even been implemented. So this was contained in a communique issued at the end of the meeting of the National Executive Councils of the Association in Katsina State. And they said the theme and sub-theme of the meeting is enhancing national health security, the critical role of medical and dental consultants in promoting equity and innovation in Nigeria's economically challenging landscape, and global perspectives on postgraduate medical career development. It was jointly signed by the President, Professor Muhammad Aminu, and Secretary General, that's Professor Dayabu Alhaji. And they are saying that this development was very, very important for their health service delivery, adding that the federal government must not go back on their promise to subsidize electricity in public hospitals. They said as a body, they are passionate about the well-being of their patients, and also the fact that they have a teeming Nigerian population. So the promise that they have made that they will remove 50%, from their cost of electricity was so welcome to public hospitals. But now that they are waiting for implementation, they are just appealing that the government does not go back on the promises that they have made. This will take out the burden on the hospital so that they can be able to focus and give proper health care to the indigents that are coming into the hospitals. I think they said, I think I took the story that was day before yesterday, I guess. And, the federal government was already saying that they cannot pay subsidy anymore for electricity for Nigerians, that we're going to start paying cost-reflective subsidies, cost-reflective prices for the product. But they also said that we're certain people that they have earmarked, that they are going to still continue paying subsidy for. I want to believe that the public hospitals are part of, those people that the government will be paying 50% subsidy for, so that they can able to give treatment to poor people. Then the rest, Nigerians, would struggle to find a way to pay the cost-reflective tariff. We don't have a choice now, since they say they cannot pay anymore.
Okay, so let me talk about the major headlines. So the Senate has ceded more revenue to states as has passed 2 of the 4 much anticipated tax reform bills. So remember, there are 4 bills that are still outstanding. The 4 bills are the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill 2025, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, and the Nigerian Tax Bill. So now, one of it was passed yesterday, which is saying that VAT will be distributed differently. So before, VAT was distributed to the federal government at 15%. Now it will be distributed to the federal government at 10%. Okay. States used to get 50%. Now states will be getting 55%, and local governments will be getting 35%. So it's more money to the state, which is a good thing. Also, yesterday, 2% service cost of collection was reduced from 4% to the collection agency to 2%. They're going to be reviewing the remaining 2 bills today, and we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I'm happy that there's quite a bit of review going on, and this is where democracy plays out, because there was a lot of pushback when the tax was initially brought to the public. But lots of discussions and reviews have been going on, and I'm happy that one by one, step by step, they are making review and recommendations properly. So we'll take that, move on. Any other story? Moving on now to Vanguard, be our final paper this morning. FG fault reps differs with Senate over security summit. Silence as a silent killer. How stigma hampers mental health struggles. Labour Party moves against Abure, sets up disciplinary panel. Local councils' wards must transform to centers of inclusive development, says Bagudu. Governor Ali alleges plots to destabilize Benue, remove him from office. Defections, one-party states will lead to anarchy, says Jonathan. And VeryDarkMan against freedom after 5 days in EFCC detention. Okay.
Okay, so I have the story of the former president warning us that one party will lead to anarchy. They said the former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, has warned that any attempt or manipulation to impose a one-party system on the nation's political space will suffocate the country and possibly lead to confusion and anarchy. He said that that it may not be an evil thing as it happened in Tanzania, but he said in Tanzania it was procedural in Tanzania and not through manipulation. He said if a one-party state has become desirable for the country, the process must be thorough and systematic, not by accident or political manipulations. And he also said that Nigerians are defecting from one party to another. We can see the way they are just moving to one party. So he said that he also described his clerk, that's described clerk as his father, said that there was no need to look for any replacement for the late Ijaw leader, because that will not be achievable, as he was a unique personality with a very sharp memory that no one can beat. And he also said that, he also added that Clark was courageous and ready to take on anybody at any time. So I'm just going to leave the place vacant like that, simply because one person handled it well. No.
Yeah, that's story. I think that's, you have a story? That's what we can take. You're laughing,
because I looked for the story on the front page, but I couldn't find it. So I now happened to come across this one about the 18-year-old boy who impregnates 10 girls in Anambra.
Jesus.
Okay, why is that funny?
So why are you laughing?
So he said he first impregnated his boss's daughter and the sales girl. So
Michael, that's all we can take on first review.
So they sent him packing to the village.
Can I
so it was the commission.
Have time.
It's very important.
No,
okay.
33. We are 3 minutes. We are 3 minutes past our time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on front page review. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.